Were you involved with the campaigns as far as the farm worker campaigns on campus?
Oh yeah, big part of it, because my parents were. So my mother helped start the Washington State Farm Workers Association in the Valley after, well, to make the story short, UFW, United Farm Workers, we were going to start with United Farm Workers and affiliate with them. My mother and brother were out in the fields organizing, and there was, we were boycotting Safeway, and there was a big march that was going to happen. And Cesar Chavez is coming to Sunnyside, and my stepdad, Steve, was working for one of the growers, and he called Esteban, my dad's, into the office, and he says, you need to talk to Ninfa. They all knew, everybody. You need to talk to Ninfa and tell her not to lead this boycott against Safeway and not to march with Cesar Chavez. This is not good for business. And my dad says to the grower, have you ever tried to tell my wife what to do? You go talk to her. So he said, oh, I get your point. So anyway, my dad told me that story. So Mom did the whole march, and we marched with Cesar Chavez, and we really thought that the United Farm Workers were going to help us in Washington. But then they were facing a lot of campaigns in California. So they pulled all the organizers out and left us hanging. And that's history. I don't have to invent that. That's a true fact. Now, how you interpret that and how you analyze it is another question. I analyze it that they really, really sold us out. If they had stayed and really organized, who knows what would have happened in the Valley. Yes, California was important, but you could have left at least a couple of organizers and not have taken everybody and everything with you and left everybody stranded, because then it really made a bunch of waves, and then at that point when they wanted to come back and start it again, people weren't interested. So anyway, after that experience, when I came to the University of Washington, one of the things they would do is go to Safeway, and I'll say this now because it doesn't really matter. We would go to Safeway, we would put all the, you probably have heard the story, we put all the harina, all the flour at the bottom of the cart and put everything else on top, and we just go like that with the flour and leave everything in the carts and go away. And we would do that a lot with Safeway. And then of course, had lettuce and grapes, not serving it on campus at the cafeteria, so we picketed against that a lot. And so that was some of the things that we did. A lot of us. I mean, I was involved with all of that. And it may have also been talked about at the 1970 Chicano student conference in Denver that I went to, because I met Jorge Gonzalez there, and we might have talked about it there as well. But I know there was a real national effort, to boycott, and especially Safeway. But then the UFW called off the secondary boycott, so that kind of lost its energy there.